Today I'm kayaking the Silver River in Ocala. Normally what we do when we come here is we put in at Silver Springs and get a ride from Wayside Park, which is where I started today, and get a ride back to the start and just only go downriver. And I usually do that when I come with my family. Today it's just me, so I'm actually buying a couple kayaks off a guy in Ocala, and I'll share more about that later because it's a really cool story. But I came down, and since I came all the way down here, it's about an hour from my house, I went to Wayside Park, and I'm going to go upriver. So I'm going to go up Silver Springs, or Silver River towards Silver Springs. I don't think I'm going to make it all the way there. It's about 6 miles to get up there, and then I'll just turn around and come back. It's a gorgeous day. It's a spring day here in Florida. It's about 85 degrees, and the river just looks so good. I mean, this river is so cool. It's going to be, I think, a really beautiful day of kayaking. It's a Friday. This place gets kind of crowded on the weekend, so I'm really excited about doing this on a weekday, which I've never done before either. So yeah, time to start paddling. I think I've mentioned in another video that this is one of my absolute favorite places to paddle, just because the whole river is crystal clear, just like the Rainbow River and the Itchitucknee River. These are just awesome. I mean, the water's always 72 degrees. This one you're not really supposed to get out and swim. The other ones you can, that I mentioned, but it's still beautiful. And you know, when you get hot, if you know how to roll, you can just roll your kayak in the crystal clear water and cool off. What's up, buddy? I love to see families out kayaking. Such a good family sport. So I've got about 2.5 hours that I wanted to paddle today. So the plan is to go upriver for about an hour and a half, and then coming down probably take me an hour, maybe a little bit more. So it's not uncommon in this river, especially in the winter time, to see manatees. It may be getting a little late in the year to see manatees, but you probably will see a gator, especially if you start up by Silver Springs. They tend to be a little bit more up that way. There's also monkeys, rhesus monkeys in these trees, and sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. Just kind of depends. So it'd be nice if we could see some today. Last time I was out here, I did not see any. The time before, we saw a lot. So it just depends on where the pack is running. There's a lot of woods around here. So we're at mile 1.7 so far. This has been the longest stint of not kayaking in a couple of years. It's been probably close to 2 months since I've been out on the water. I've had a lot of mountain bike events recently. Just been riding a lot. Life's been busy, but man, I miss it. What a great river to kayak after not being out for a while. This place is just spectacular. As I suspected, the crowds are fairly sparse today compared to what they are on the weekends. So I've made it 3.5 miles upriver. I have a feeling I'm going to make it about 4.5 before I have to turn around. I'm not really pushing that hard. I think it's 5 miles all the way up to Silver Springs. So if I get really close, I might just push on towards Silver Springs. But I'm meeting this guy to pick up the kayaks tonight, and I don't want to be late, so kind of on a time schedule. So that's a pretty cool story, because I saw 2 kayaks for sale. He's selling 2 Wilderness Systems Zephyr 155s, which is a 15.5-foot sea kayak. I think it's going to be a perfect length for my daughter. I wanted to get one more sea kayak for our family. We all started off on sit-on-top kayaks, and once I got a sea kayak, I realized how much better these things paddle. And if I'm in a sea kayak and everybody else is in a sit-on-top, then I'm a lot faster. So trying to even the playing field a little bit. So we need one more sea kayak, so all 4 of us will have one. And this guy is selling 2 of them, and he's selling them at such a good price that I decided to get both of them. So I'll either sell one or just keep one around for when other people go out with us, or if I want to just bring along a shorter one. This one's 17 feet, and we have one that's 17.5. So They can be a little cumbersome to tote around sometimes. But the cool story is the guy who's selling them is a kayak instructor, and he used to do demonstrations of rolling kayaks. And he's also written a book called Simple Kayak Navigation. And so he's a big-time kayaker, retired here in Ocala, Florida now. I think he said he's been here for about 3 years, came from up north, and just getting up there in age and not kayaking as much. And so he's selling these 2 kayaks. All right, so I'm about 3.8 miles. Got about 15 minutes to go before I turn around. Again, just chilling out today, not really pushing too hard. It's gonna be nice to come back downriver, paddle, and then just kind of chill out a little bit and float. That's why I love going upriver first. You get the constant paddling out of the way and then coming back. If you want to just relax a little bit and chill, you can do that. Just float with the river. All right, I made it to the head spring right at my turnaround time of an hour and a half. What's cool about this now is I can take a little bit of a different way back in the first mile, because you can take this little paddle trail to the left that kind of goes by where the state park kayak launch is. There's the glass bottom boats, famous at Silver Springs. Really cool tour. If you ever get down here, I'd recommend doing it. So I need to get some underwater video up here of the head spring. There's statues underwater. It's really cool. Probably can't totally chill out on the way back. I need to make it back in an hour. We're going to do our best to do that, but I think we can, because not only will we be going downriver, we're going to be going downwind. Kind of had a headwind the last few miles. All right, let's get some underwater video here. So time to head back. It was just over 5 miles from Wayside Park, so we're going to get a little over 10 miles for today. So we're going to go down this paddle trail, and this just kind of parallels the wider part of the Silver River. Again, we're going to go past the kayak launch for the state park where we usually put in, and I love this section because it's very shaded. So we'll go under a pedestrian bridge. There's quite a few hiking trails. We're now in kind of the Silver Springs State Park area. So there's hiking trails and glass bottom boat tours and kayaking and paddleboarding. It's a pretty epic place, honestly. Again, this is just one of my favorite places to paddle. It's just so beautiful, so pristine, lots of good wildlife. So there's a split up here. If you go right, you go over to the kayak launch. If you go left, we'll continue down this paddle trail. So yeah, kayak launch just over there to the right. We're gonna avoid that and come over here and down this paddle trail. This is beautiful. What a beautiful day. Perfect temperature. Not crazy hot, but still very warm. Mid 80s, sunny. It's a wedding party at that pavilion over there. I've actually been to a wedding here. It was probably the best setting for a wedding that I've ever been to. Some friends of ours got married a few years ago here. I think he worked here, which is how he hooked up getting his wedding here. Again, it was pretty epic. So we got some monkeys coming up. So there's one up in the tree there. I don't know if you can see that. Way up on that branch. Probably see some more. Usually where there's one, there's quite a few more. It's just kind of chilling out on that branch up there. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's see if we see some more. There's one up where that branch meets the tree there. This section has a bunch of these old buildings. I don't really know the story behind these. It's almost like a old settlement. There's quite a few along this. This is like doing the Jungle Cruise at Disney World, but it's real. One over there. So we're exiting this paddle trail area and we're heading back out into the main part of the river. Some manatee right there. He breached right when I was passing him. I almost hit the manatee. No, I was a few feet away. He's right there. That is so cool. I stopped back there and took a break. I got out of the kayak. This is a nice little spot that's 2 miles from the head spring at Silver Springs. So I stretched my legs. I have a little restroom there, so I used the restroom and got back in. While I was standing there, 2 pontoon boats came around the corner. And this is a no-wake river. And there were probably about, 10 people on each boat, and they were flying, stirring up a huge wake, which really, really made me mad. Especially right after I saw a manatee. And now the river that was crystal clear blue water on the way up is all chewed up and brown because those 2 boats were flying through here. Again, stirring up a huge wake, which I honestly hope I see them in the parking lot so I can educate them on how stupid that is. The whole river has been just stirred up now. All right, well, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna have a good day. One of my favorite sounds is an owl in the woods. So I had a great day of kayaking the Silver River, other than my little episode of ranting about the pontoon boats, which, if you're like me, you feel a sense of stewardship, almost a sense of ownership of the outdoors. And when you see someone disrespecting it, it makes you a little angry, and that's how I felt. So other than that, it was a great day of kayaking. I had about 10.5 miles, and I picked up the kayaks. So these are the ones behind me. So since I talked about them in the video, I'll show you the kayaks that I picked up from Ray in Ocala. These are the kayaks, Wilderness System Zephyrs, and they're 15.5 feet long. Same kayak, just different colors. In really, really, really good shape. The hulls are in great shape. I think Ray told me he only used them 3 or 4 times. So this is a really good length. Like, it's a fast kayak, but it's not crazy long. So it should be a good kayak for my daughter. And the other one, like I said in the video, I'll either sell or just keep on hand for when other people go out kayaking with us. So that'll wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.